something bad. Miranda Lambert, Kicks 105.5. It is 7:46, and joining me in studio, as he does every Wednesday and has for years now, and expects me to have some kind of like, okay, this is a 2-minute warning. No. Come prepared when you come to this program. That's all I'm saying. So you and I have had multiple conversations about flooding, and we've talked about oil tanks. What were you thinking that you wanted to hit on this time around?
I had a couple things running through my head. I've had a lot of discussions lately, good discussions with people about just they're astounded about how much they're paying for their auto insurance.
Okay.
And I thought what I could provide is a quasi-insider take, because I'm not an actuary. I'm not the one behind the scenes making the rates, but I am certainly hands-on and, kind of on the front lines every day of what it costs to have an auto policy.
See,
I don't think we're recording. I don't think you have me in audition. There you go.
Oh, my God.
Hey, somebody's going to watch it here.
Kicks 105.5, good morning. This is... You're going to put that on YouTube and be like, oh, man.
Yeah. But so it's a conversation that I've had quite frequently. It's like, my gosh, why am I paying so much for my insurance? Why is my insurance going up? Why is it not, going the opposite way? There's a million and one reasons. And it sounds like you might have had a question there, so go ahead.
I did have a question, because I know that when you and I have sat down and talked, I can call Brand X. They're going to bill me. I give them $200-300. With your company and all the people that you represent, it's actually a money-saving thing over time, but you need to have more money up front, $400, $500, $600 up front to get a policy with where I'm at, versus just being able to. And I realize that your policy is better and it saves me money in the long run, but I think it's hard for some people to be able to come up with $500 in their hand.
Right. Well, I mean, what you're experiencing is, and what the example you're providing is once you're in, once you have a policy, your monthly payments are going to be much more manageable. Sometimes getting into it for the first time can be a little pricey with that first initial payment. But once you're in, you're in. And that's not every company. That's only some of the bigger companies like the Progressives and Safecos, where they might have a little bit of a larger down payment. The rest of them, it's a little more manageable. So something to think about for sure. Because when you have to come up, when you're used to paying one payment a month and then to start a policy, you got to come up with two payments. That's where it can hurt. But let's talk about why your insurance policy, your auto insurance policy specifically, is probably more expensive than you would like it to be. And I'm a great example of that, because I'm an insurance agent, but I also have auto insurance for myself.
Well, does it incrementally jump every year, or some years it'll stay the same
there
for
are some years,
10 years, and then all of a sudden...
Well, not 10 years. My God, there's bills to pay. But think about it this way, back in the day, we've talked about this numerous times on this program, where, you could have a small fender bender, and maybe it is only a side fender that needs replacement. Well, if you have a small fender bender now, you're replacing a whole front piece, because it's all one piece. It's all plastic.
Yeah.
It gets damaged easier. The paint's a different technology than it used to be. So there are so many factors going into the cost of repairing vehicles. Now you start thinking about some of these cars coming out with even more technology and computers in them, not even to mention the Prius type cars that have been out for years now. The amount of money and you used to pay for a brand new car, what, $20,000, $25,000? Now it's what, $30,000, $35,000, $40,000, $45,000, $50,000? I mean, and if you look at it, and I've actually could go back and look, I'm not paying a tremendous amount difference between then and now with some of my older cars. So, to me, the rates really are justified in many ways, even though people really want to slap me when I say that. And I would agree, because I complain about my insurance being expensive too. But the amount of damage that can be done, the amount of distracted driving going on right now, the amount of claims that are going on right now, it's a relatively mind-blowing event when you think about how much money insurance companies are paying for auto claims versus how much you're paying into them. So,
when devices came into the mix with driving, I would imagine that 10 years ago that started probably an effect of dominoes that was knocking over and having more and more claims done, because there's more and more people being irresponsible and being distracted.
When we were younger, one of my good friends, when he would go to set the radio, the radio in the car.
The AM, push the button radio.
AM, FM, he would dial it in or change the volume, and when he would do that, we would swerve right. because he was somewhat leaning over to the right to do it. So we're always like, okay, it's good, go left, go left. But that was just a radio. Think about the computers and all the components in your car, smartphones. The distracted driving is through the roof.
Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll tell you
Young
that
people smoking.
I will tell you though that it's a quite an offense now with insurance companies to have something for getting pulled over for cellular use using your smartphone, because now the states all have that law. And I'll tell you, and this is good to know, if you got pulled over for that and you're looking for new insurance, be careful, because that could cost a little bit more money right then and there, because companies go, whoa, we're considering that more of a major infraction. So if you think of a speeding versus a DUI, put distracted driving somewhere to the right of middle on that.
That's crazy. Yeah. I know somebody who has gotten into, let's see, 2 fender benders and been busted for talking on their cell phone, like in the last month. I'm really amazed that people still distract driving by playing on their cell phones and subsequently get into car wrecks because of it too.
And we're dealing with companies that have policies that are written with based on some of these policies were started in the 50s and 60s, and they modify and make endorsements and do things like that. But these policies are still somewhat behind the times, and companies are still catching up with technology. And believe me, as they catch up, repercussions can become more and more.
That's
so
crazy.
Something to keep in mind.
Well, our time is up, my friend.
It was up about 5 minutes ago. I think we went long.
You always go long. But it's always enjoyable to have you here. I think that we become more knowledgeable and help ourselves. And hopefully, if one person heard, don't drive because you're going to have more expensive insurance
while
you can
playing
drive
on your
cell phone.
Just don't
I
talk
was getting to the whole sentence there.
Don't drive, walk.
Walk, no. Don't drive and be a distracted driver, and especially don't get caught.
No. And the cool thing about the new iOS is it can disable your phone while it senses you're driving. For Apple, something to think about. So maybe that could be a nice way to, if you think you can't control yourself, if a text comes in while you're on the road, just disable incoming notifications.
Did Apple just give you a little, hey, here's a little check for you? Could you mention us in your next?
I have to do this, I think, 6 more times
to
get a 10. So.
Phone number for them to reach you on your new cellular device.
My new smartphone. While I'm driving. You can give us a call at the office, 748-5224. Visit our website, thebarrettagency.com. We've got a new page on there called Testimonials. Check that out. We're very excited about that. You can also look
at where a little dude comes out and goes, Amen! 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 I love Barrett Insurance.
We're very gift happy right now.
Okay.
You can also check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Google Plus as Barrett Insurance Agency.
Thank you, buddy.
See ya.